But did you do anything crazy in college?
You know what? Yes.
No one is expecting that yes from you, Malala, just so you know that.
I have missed on that childhood. So this is the time maybe when my parents are not watching. I'm here on this campus on my own, but I can try something new and I can prioritize socializing over studying. That's what I did. Mostly.
No, Malala, no.
Am I giving the wrong advice?
Hello, namaste. Welcome to the Zarna Garg family podcast where all 5 Gargs are in the house. And today's episode is going to get heated. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get into fights with your family. We are about to get into it ourselves. Let's not waste any time. Let me introduce all the players. My husband of 26 years, Wall Street veteran Shalab Garg. My daughter who recently graduated college, Zoya Garg. My son who's in college, Bridge Garg. And my middle schooler, Veer Garg, are in the house. And we are going to talk about the topic of setting boundaries with parents. How much do you tell your parents? How much do parents tell their kids? Is there a difference between holding things and divulging things to boys versus girls? We're going to get right into it because I personally am very upset right now and irritated because in our family, it feels like the women do all the planning, do all the fundamental heavy lifting of any event, including this podcast, I might add. We pick the topics, we make sure everybody, we're sending reminders up the wazoo to make sure that the men show up, and then they show up and they just sit there and be like, okay, when you're ready for us to say something, we will.
Okay, hold on. I just want you to stop referring to us as the men because I'm not part of this issue.
Yeah, no, it's really an issue with the adult men.
Okay, well...
So it sounds like completely pointed at Bridge and me then. Who else is there?
I mean, Veer, would you say it's the two of them?
Like, I don't want to, call anybody out, but there definitely is some sort of issue with two people in this family that don't respond to texts. Or no, Dad does, but one of us just doesn't really respond to anything.
Yeah, it's become like by invitation, and I think this is true of a lot of families.
Zarna, can I just stop you? Can I just stop you
Yeah.
right there?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say something that you say all the time. Life for good-looking people works out differently than for others. And Bhaiya is really good-looking. What do you want to do?
So are you saying we're not good looking? I'm so
No,
confused.
no, it's
Because
a
I
joke.
know that you have a favorite and I feel like you just swore your allegiance.
I also
think you
don't
just
see how
heard
that
it.
relates to the situation at all.
This back to school season, set your child up for success with Mathnasium, the math learning center trusted by over 1 million parents. Mathnasium makes math make sense through personalized instruction that builds skills and confidence. Start today with a free assessment at mathnasium.com.
I think that one thing that's worth noting also is that when it comes to waiting for first of all, can you expand your point? What do you mean by like we're not putting enough work or whatever? Like explain.
No, because we plan everything. We are sending reminders constantly. It's this time. It's this time. Even when we're setting up 5 minutes before showtime. Did you check this? Did you check that? You
Okay,
guys
so
just
Mom,
sit there.
I have a question. Wait, no, I have a question.
And wait to participate as you're some A-list movie celebrities, and the rest of us are just minions over here running around with our emotions.
What is Dad's full-time job?
What is Dad's full-time job? Dad
As
Yeah,
an
what's-
investment.
fine, so he has a job. So the rest
Okay.
of us do too.
What's my full-time responsibility right now?
We all have full-time responsibilities.
Okay, what's Veer's full-time responsibility right now? No, Didi's full-time responsibility in coordinates with your responsibility is majorly accumulated by the podcast. So you guys have to be the ones that lead the podcast because this is your specific responsibilities within the family company.
Okay, Bridge, that's unfair.
That
It's
is
not unfair.
ridiculous.
That's the truth.
No, I don't
That's
agree
the
with that.
truth of the situation.
I do not agree
It's
with that.
not. That is
No.
the truth of the
No,
situation.
no, we are
But
all
it is the
benefiting.
Zarna
We are
Garg
all
family podcast.
individually and collectively benefiting from this idea.
We all 100% do, and for that purpose, we all show up with our responsibilities.
No,
I
but
show
just
up to every single
showing
Saturday,
up,
Sunday.
showing up is not enough. That is absolutely
Showing up
not
isn't
enough.
not enough. You also have to bring all the energy you normally
No,
bring.
no,
You can't
that's-
half-ass it. Your
no.
equipment has to be
the
working.
planning ahead of
We're
it,
all
the
doing
texting
it.
ahead of it, making sure your equipment works. Like your mic wasn't working and we had to restart. None of that is acceptable.
But I also walked 30 minutes away from my dorm specifically
I don't
for
care
this
if you
podcast,
walked
so I have to
300
run.
miles.
Wait,
to get
I
to this
actually-
place.
But you should care that I did that. But hold on, pause. You should care that I did that because that shows them my commitment to this podcast. Didi, when she got up on stage in front of her Stanford friends, she said in front of all of them, my full-time commitment will be to the podcast. I didn't say that. How could we expect it to have the same sort of commitment to the podcast when her full-time job is to the podcast?
Bridge, each of us, you should see how much each individual person is becoming like a standalone beneficiary of everything that the celebrity that your mom has created is bringing to the table. And to benefit from all of it, and then randomly make this, what I would characterize as basically a stupid point, that my showing up is my commitment, is absolutely unfair.
I never said my showing up is my commitment. Hold on, we're not done with this yet. I never said showing up is my
So
commitment.
then what did you say?
I said that everyone has full-time responsibilities. And with mom and Didi choosing their first full-time, specifically Didi, but also mom, choosing that the show name is the Zarna Garg podcast, not the Garg family podcast.
It's actually the Zarna Garg family podcast.
But
not
it's
Zarna
her
Garg.
name. It's her first name. It's not the Bridge Garg family podcast, not the Joy of Veer Garg. It's her name, right? It's her full... No,
Bridge,
let me finish the point. I'm not
Finish your
completely
point.
wrong.
Okay, finish
It
your
is
point.
fully relevant. It is fully relevant. It is their full-time responsibility, so they're expected to put in a little bit more effort than the rest of us do. Does that mean we can put in no effort? No. Again, repeating what I've already said. I have committed every single Saturday and Sunday morning at 11 a.m. or 12. Today was 11. Normally it's 12, but I made the adjustment. I walk across my door. I'm holding 2 bags so that I can have my equipment, my schoolwork, and everything. Walking to Central Campus, which is a 25-minute walk from my dorm, after barely eating because the dining hall's open at 10:30, meaning I only have 5 minutes to eat and get here, and I still do it every time with the same energy I bring every single week. I never complain about it. I've never talked to any of you guys in complaints about it. And then for you guys to sit here and say what you guys are doing is just showing up and that's it, is just completely false. I dressed up, right? I'm wearing a collared shirt. I could have showed up in a t-shirt.
You look
I
great.
made the walk to go 25 minutes. Dad, you're taking it from home. You're taking it from home right now. Veer, you're in your room and you're wearing a t-shirt. But how am I going to be the one that's supposed to be the one that's, oh, you're not putting enough effort. You're not showing up on time. You're not doing this when I'm arbitrarily doing more than I should be expected to do.
Wait, okay. I take issue with the fact that you don't feel ownership in this show. That's like what I take issue with. Now, the only thing I don't take issue with is that you are doing the work. Like, Dad, I will say that every single time I've messaged Bridge about the podcast and about reminders and about episode topics and things of that nature, he's been the first to respond, like over text. We have our own system for it, like where he might not pick up my call, but he is really, really being very proactive and has changed. Now, the topic of this episode is how much should we tell our parents? The reason why Mom yelled at you earlier is because she can't get through the phone to you and doesn't know what's going on in your life. That is the issue. Now, the question is she allowed to know about what's going on in your life? What do you think?
I mean, Veer, do you want to explain? Like, this is
Well,
pertains
how
to
did
all
you
of us.
just avoid this question? I'm asking you
Yes, no
specifically,
question,
Bridge.
and I'm saying yes.
Well,
I mean,
for me, she can know what's going on in my life. Like, I'm not really doing anything so crazy to like I need to always be like I tell her what's happening every night, but like I don't need to constantly be like reminding her.
But Veer, there is a difference though, right? For example, when mom is not around, you take off often and you don't even tell me. Or you had a sleepover the other day and I had to
What
literally...
sleepover?
I told you.
but
hold on.
I had to seek that information out of
I
you.
was playing. The
It was
sleepover
not
wasn't confirmed
something
yet.
proactive that you told me, which is something I think you would do with your mother.
Okay, but
So
I was
I'm saying
planning
that
to
our
tell you.
parenting styles are different, right? I like to keep a hands off from you unless needed because I trust that you will make the right call. You're a mature kid, and that you should have the you should have the ownership of your decisions and the responsibility towards them. And that's how I do it. And your mom would, yell Veer 8 different times without really a sentence following it to let you know that she's around if you need her. So there is a parenting difference, right? It's not like she loves you any more or less than I love you. I mean, I use the word "I love you" here on the podcast.
Oh
I'm allowed
my
to do that.
goodness, that
I
is
don't know what is it.
Wait, so I have a question then, based off of that.
Yes.
So one time, Veer came home, and I believe he had like some sort of bruise or mark on his neck,
No,
and
what?
you guys did not inquire deeply on like
I did
why there was a
inquire
bruise or
deeply.
mark.
I did inquire deeply
We
about
all
it.
did.
inquired deeply.
So was Veer obligated to tell you why he had a
Yes.
bruise or mark on his neck?
Yes, absolutely. What do you mean? Like,
And I did.
What?
And I did.
But
I did.
but do you think that's an obligation? Like, do you think that he has to?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, why is that even a question?
Wait, so Veer, can you explain? Because I'm a little bit confused. Why did you have a bruise or mark on your neck?
All right. Well, You know what I actually saw is that one of the reasons Baya doesn't reply to texts is that he's on his phone playing phone games, and he's spent multiple like tens of hours playing these games.
What is going on here? What?
I only play phone games in class. I do not.
And you could be
That
responding to
is
texts in
such a
class.
lie. That is a
that's the
lie.
truth.
He pushed.
No.
He pushed to the maximum level of where he maxed out the game. He's at the top of the like he got to the point where you cannot get any further.
What game are you playing, Bridge?
It's a
Clash
game called Clash
Royale.
Royale.
I
It's like
played
a-
Clash Royale.
You've
No,
not
you
played
don't.
anything.
Yes.
You've not played anything.
I have played one time where the guy runs and through the train tracks. I played that.
That actually is
Subway
the game.
Surfer.
That's
Wait, no,
Subway
Subway Surfer.
Surfers.
I thought you were talking about the.
No,
No,
he
yeah,
runs
that's not
through
a
the
game.
tracks and then you get gold coins as you go. And then
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so wholesome. Who taught you about
No,
Subway
I played that
Surfers?
game. I played because I would like to create a game, so I'm always seeing what's up.
We have created a game, which you get upgrades on every day,
But
but
I
it's
just
fine.
want to go back to Bridge's point for a minute. Bridge, until you explained how hard it was for you to get to this podcast, I didn't know. I just wanted to know.
I
that.
did not know either.
Your dad
So-
had me believe it was right there, and that you were
What?
being
How
irresponsible.
how would I make you believe that?
Because when we were walking one time, you did say, he's young, he's irresponsible. So I just assumed.
I never said that. Like you're just
You did
making
say
shit
that.
up.
Shut up. You did say that. Own your words right now.
Oh my god! Like I didn't know any of this either, and this is
Yeah.
typical of boys, right? Boys do things, and they often don't.
Yeah, that is.
Talk
that
about
is
it.
So
I wanna-
so that
hold on, I
comes
wanna
to
ask
the
a
second
question.
point of this podcast: how much the kids tell us, and how much do we tell them? Like the fact that Bridge is going through all this to try to get even a podcast recording was news to me. It actually made me very upset. The fact that it is like that made me upset. The fact that he may be hungry is making me upset. And how much should kids tell their parents, and how much should parents tell their kids?
Veer, what was your question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Dad, did you hide things from your parents growing up?
Yes, I did. I did a lot of things.
It's a great
I mean,
question.
and I feel like, yeah, I mean, I did not share almost anything, but it was a different parenting, But I was a much more mature kid too, right? I was more high performing than my peers around, right? I was studious. I was very responsible. It was like I was a kid, like the way you guys are kids, right? Like your mother was a rebellious kid, right? She was not really good at studies. She was like.
What are you talking? I was always a good student.
I mean, let's not talk about the definition of your good versus, the definition of my good. But I'm just saying that I did hide a lot of things. I was dating girls. I never talked. And, dating in India at the time, in those times, was different, the way you guys understand dating.
Yes,
I was,
where he was dating was looking at a girl through his window. Just so you guys, just so you guys know what we're talking about over here.
okay, I'm just going to tell you, my high school girlfriend met my mom for coffee.
Wow.
When?
What does that mean? Why?
I'm
she
just
meeting
saying,
your mom for
because I
what?
wanted her to meet my mother. That's how serious that high school girlfriend was.
Oh my God! Whatever.
So I'm just saying that, your mother makes it sound like dating was this, that, and the other. And my mother can confirm that because she's still alive.
Wait, that's a really interesting point, though. Do you have an obligation as children to show your romantic partners to your parents?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
100%.
I mean, not like the first date, and like if it's become more than just a simple coffee date and has sort of progressed to you.
How many dates do you think? Like, what do you mean by progressed?
No. The earlier, the better. Please. We have seen some total disasters. We will not get into with Zoya, and it's better to.
I
get
don't think
involved
we've seen
earlier.
disasters. I
Yes,
think
we
she's
No,
have.
no,
been
no.
very
I did have one or two disasters. Now, actually, like I think when it comes to dating, the reason why you should introduce your parents to your partner early is only if you feel like you're not sure about this person and you need like verification, basically, because your parents will basically ask really hard questions. Now, my mind has changed about this. The next person
Can
that
I
I'm
just stop you
dating-
for 1 second and
Yeah.
interject you? I'm sorry for having done that. So, I do this consulting things as finance dad, which has really taken off, right? This hour-long thing. And all age groups are taking advantage of it. And most recently, it was a young woman who I was talking to.
Yeah.
And it is a very big deal, the whole dating life for a young person. And her biggest issue was her inability to talk to her parents about it. So I do think that as a young person, and I include Didi as young still as well, I mean, even though she's 22. But my point is that young people have to be able to talk to their parents about their dating life.
No, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that I am not going to be introducing anybody to you or mom for at least like 6 months. I've decided.
Why?
No,
Because
that's too long.
no, no, I've decided that
I mean, your mom and I dated for 6 months before we got married.
No, because I feel like my intuition in this family is not respected. Like my intuition, if I say my intuition is this, I should be able to hold that intuition without there being like an entire like case by case examination about it. Like I want to just nurture my intuition about
Who is
people.
not respecting your intuition?
Not you, Veer. You're actually an angel. I tell Veer
I mean,
everything.
in the
actually,
hedge
by the
fund
way.
business, there's a term called track record, which defines the record of what you've done leading up to that point. How would you characterize your track record when it comes to dating Pita?
My track record is not great. It's not great. However, I've grown so much. I've become very independent, and for all intents and purposes, I do tell Veer everything because A, Veer has great advice, and B, he doesn't judge me, and I feel like everybody else in this family judges me.
I'm not judging you. What are you talking about?
I think that I'm the least judgmental person in this entire family.
No, you
I've
are judgmental,
never-
Bridge.
I am not
I feel like
judgmental.
you would judge me about like even earlier when you were talking about like the podcast and my decision to go full time on the podcast. Like I feel like you were being judgmental a little bit, and it made me sad.
How?
Because
How was I being
feel like you
judgmental?
don't
I think that you're
understand-
extremely sensitive, and you
Yeah.
just take things as judgment when it's just not judgment.
I think
At
Zoe,
all.
sometimes you can be very judgmental
I mean, like
about
I said
yourself.
nothing judgmental towards your position at all. I just
Yeah,
stated the
that's
facts
not
to
fair
support
to
my.
say towards Bai. He's already stated
I'm
that,
like, yeah, I don't even know. I mean, that's just a ridiculous statement. We're talking about ridiculous statements on this podcast. How many times have I supported your decision and still to this day agree with that decision that you made? I could not have passed judgment at all in that regard.
But Bridge, if she's bringing it up, the response to that is not, it's ridiculous. Like you can respond to that and be like, but I am supportive and all. Like that is part of the issue, is that in order to be open with across the generations or with each other is feeling heard. Like if she's saying I felt judged and you're like, that's ridiculous, that's not a response, is all I'm saying. And I'm trying to do that. Because I do that. I was trying to do that when you were saying I did this, I was like, okay, I need to listen to what he's saying
Well-
because he's actually making himself heard.
The reason why he hasn't been making himself heard is because you guys have not, you specifically, and I'm not trying to call you out, but I am kind of calling you out. You don't understand the demands of college and like how much time is like just does not exist basically when you're doing classes and you're trying to get
I
your
get
degree.
that, and I'm listening. I really am listening. I mean, I'm trying. Look, we as a family are trying to do something crazy and ambitious. There's just no way around it, right? We all want to do this podcast. Nobody is being forced to do it, right? We're trying our best.
But
in
let's get
modern
back to the topic.
circumstances to make it happen. But the point is, yeah, let's get back to the topic, which is that if somebody is saying that I felt a certain way, the response to that can't be that's ridiculous. In general, right now I'm not talking about your dad.
No, I agree. I had a bad response to that statement. I apologize for that.
And-
I hear you, but I also want you to know that I obviously support your decision. And I
But
have always
men are never heard, to be completely honest. I've never felt heard my entire life. And I'm
You've
50 years
never
old.
felt heard?
No. Absolutely
Do you
not.
want to be felt heard?
That's a good question.
Because I've never wanted to felt like I've never been like, oh, I wish somebody could hear me out. Like,
No, it's true. I don't really care to be heard. That's true.
yeah, that's the other issue.
What is happening? Like,
I mean,
what-
I'm
what-
happy to
What,
process
first
my.
of all, what do you mean when you say I've never felt heard? Like, what does that mean?
I mean,
Yeah, Mom,
I'm
have you
just-
never?
I'm just saying that you're not a very good listener.
What are you talking about? I've been listening to you my whole life. 26 years. We've gone on walks and you blabber on. Who's doing all the listening then?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's one thing to keep your ears open. It's another to process the words and give a logical response.
Mm.
Yeah.
Stop
Wow.
bridge acting like that was some deep Socratical thought.
So yeah, I feel like
Was
my
deep.
words come out of my mouth and hit your ears, but completely bounce right back.
Like, give me an example. What are you talking about?
You're screaming about him. You're
Because
screaming
it's
at
been
him.
completely ridiculous. I'm not
That's what I
saying
said.
that-
You just took my own
But
statement.
you
You just took my own. You actually just completely contradicted yourself.
Bridge,
I
like, you
hope. I
stop
hope someone.
doing
Like,
this
how many
voice on
times-
a- like,
How many
I
times
know,
over the
sorry.
course of time have I said that it's my dream to get a motorbike that I can drive?
Okay,
How many times?
literally.
That is dumb, Dad. Though
Okay,
that is
no.
dumb.
So
You
that's
cannot get a
Bridge. This is
motorbike.
What
this is
happened?
what
You guys are
this is
My
what
you guys are
hearing
wife
looks
and
like.
kids
Yeah,
saying,
this is
I want to get a motorbike, and he's literally doing it to get a rise out of me.
No,
and
no,
now
I'm
he's
just
saying, I
saying.
won't hear him out.
But the point is, you just said that's not the response that's necessary.
But
You
people
just
are
said
driving
that.
me to escalate my blood pressure right now. Like literally, I was sitting here peacefully listening and being
Okay,
acting
fine.
with a
Forget the
model
motorbike.
parent.
The idea that I've brought up so many times, and now Bridge actually is aligned with me, which is around not taking medication willy nilly. How about that? How many
Oh,
times have I
this
brought
has
that
to be
up?
like a whole podcast topic.
Yeah, so
We
we don't
will do
have.
this
That's
as a
not the
podcast
point. But
topic.
I'm saying
Yeah.
that it's a topic that has not been heard. I feel unheard, but it's okay because as a grown man, grown in the generation of the Godfather, I can absorb impressions and thoughts into myself, and just be comfortable in my own skin.
I will say that you are much better at that than me. You are. And I don't know if it's because of the generation that you're in, but I definitely need to talk about everything all the time.
Listen up, podcast fam. We have a big surprise drop in today. We are so excited to have in the house the icon, the legend herself, Malala, is in the house. Everybody, give it up. Malala, so excited. I'm not even using your second name because you are that one name icon in the world. Nobody needs to know your second name because you are Malala. There is no other. And welcome to the Zarna Garg Family Podcast. We're so excited to have you on the topic of how much should you share with your parents or not? What boundaries should you have with your parents? How much should you tell them about your life? How much do you want to know about their life and their stresses? So, of course, five of us don't agree on anything, but we would love to have your take on it.
Wow, that's an easy question to start with.
Okay, tell us, Malala. Do you tell your parents everything?
I do it strategically. I think it's good to make sure that parents feel that they know what's happening, but you don't have to share everything. So I have also two younger brothers,
Oh my
and
gosh,
yes,
we're the same.
I know. Let's talk about it.
I just felt the eldest daughter's stress all over your face.
Yes, and we're like, you're the youngest, right?
Hmm.
Yes, my brother, the hairstyle, it's exactly the same. I saw your recent podcast and you were talking about like rings and bracelets and those kind of things. Yeah, my youngest brother, he also has a similar thing. We're like, do we really need to have every ring and bracelet and necklace?
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a lot of
Yes,
similarities. I could see.
yeah, a lot of similarities. Anyway, so I think the youngest one doesn't share anything. He just can get away with anything. The middle one,
Oh,
oversharing.
not in your family too, Malala. This Zoya and Bridge are constantly arguing with me about how I let the little one get away with anything. Is that true in your house too?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, they live a different life. I'm like, are these the same parents that I had? Are they the same people?
That's so true. When we were younger, to punish us, whenever I made a mistake or my sister made a mistake, my parents would take the other sibling outside of the house as some sort of psychological torture method. Because then you feel so guilty for kicking the other sibling out that you start crying and begging them to come back.
And Veer just had a sleepover. I was never allowed to have sleepovers, ever. And he had a sleepover, no problem. Didn't even tell mom and dad, which is just a double standard in our
Well,
family.
maybe my friends are just more responsible.
Oh,
Anyway, let's not get into that. But it's true. Like my parents were very just strict. My parents were very strict when it was my turn. I was the oldest in the family, so I couldn't even go to a friend's sleepover or even go for dinner with them together because they were like, "Are you going to be there on your own? We can't join you, so it means you can't go." And I found it so strange. It changed in university because that was the first time that I was not with my parents and I was living on campus without anybody. That changed everything for me. But before that,
Wow.
it was very different for me. And my brothers, like, when I just like see their lives being so different and how my parents are so chill, I'm like, when did that happen? Yeah.
But did you do anything crazy in college?
uh, you know what? Yes.
No one is expecting that yes from you, Malala, just so you know that.
Yeah, and I talk about all of those crazy things in my new book,
Yeah.
Finding My Way. Of course, I am sharing all of that in this book. When I entered college, I was expecting myself to be that student that I had dreamed to be as a kid, studying hard and getting good grades. But as soon as I entered, I realized that I had missed out so much on my. I realized that I had missed on so much, like in my childhood, because how different my life was, becoming an activist at a young age, and then after the attack, moving to a new country from Pakistan to the UK. It was a different culture, and I had to start again, make friends again, adjust to the new environment. So in college, I just reminded myself that that I don't really have friends yet. I have missed on that childhood. So this is the time maybe when my parents are not watching. I'm here on this campus on my own, that I can try something new and I can prioritize socializing over studying. That's what I said.
No,
No sleep.
no, Malala, no,
Am I
no.
giving the wrong advice?
Malala Didi, you are about to get on
Prioritizing
her head list.
socializing over studying. Like, I just started, like, my whole body went on fire when she said that. Because I have a kid in college right now who doesn't need to hear that.
Bridge, I feel like you were just so excited to hear that.
Yes.
I was because I was also had a very abnormal childhood because I had to work for my family. I had to film videos, go live podcasts, so many different things. So I also missed out on a lot of like childhood experiences. And just especially when you're in the public light, you just can't say things like your friends say things that could get them in trouble if that was released publicly. I mean, people talk about getting canceled. Like if you have to being like worrying about getting canceled from the age like 14 is so different, right? So now that I'm at college, there's nobody really like watching over me. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's very
But
freeing.
Malala Didi, you also have an incredible like partner who you're posting on Instagram all the time. And I'm not dating yet. I am not in a relationship and I'm struggling out here in the dating scene. So I wanted to know, like, can you give some relationship advice? Like, are you guys keeping secrets from each other? Are you, telling each other everything? What does he think of your parents? Do you guys have a good relationship? What is the mother in that situation, because we have a mother-in-law character that is very infamous in the stand-up comic comedian, I'm not going to name
Yeah,
it.
yeah. A lot of questions there. I think my family, I think my husband and my family's dynamic has changed significantly. So when I first told my dad about this guy that I was, liking, and I was such a good daughter, I told my father like immediately. I said, I'm gonna be that. Uh, it was early days. I had no idea, so I said I should just tell my dad, take him into confidence. And I said, Dad, please don't tell mom, because I know my mom is more strict and she will freak out. So Asar is from Lahore and I'm from the northern part of Pakistan. So our cultures are slightly different. He speaks like Punjabi and Urdu. We speak Pashto. And I knew my mom would just like have all of these concerns. And before I knew it, my dad was on his phone. He had called my mom. Yeah.
That is almost exactly what I would do if Zoya called me. I would almost
I know.
immediately call Zarna.
But I think dads have this thing, like they're like really nice, but then they bring in mom to handle the difficult conversations. So, because initially I used to say like my dad is so nice and my mom is so strict, and I get along with my dad, and my mom and I are just sort of in this battle. But with time, I realized it's just my dad just didn't want to be the bad guy, and he sort of
Exact.
yeah
Thank you for that. Good cop, bad cop. With mom is
yeah
always the bad cop. Always.
yes.
All the dirty work has to be done by mothers. And thank you, Malala, for shining a light unexpectedly. I wasn't sure that we were gonna get to this point, but here we are. And he does the same. He's the kid's friend. Like you were like, oh, it's so easy to talk to dad because he's always your friend. And then mom has to be like, sit down. You need to talk a language that your spouse can understand.
Yes, this is exactly what was happening. So anyway, both my mom and my dad knew by then, and it was really hard to convince them initially because they hadn't really met Asar yet. So I think with time, as they got to know him, they started liking him. My mom wasn't sure even till like the week before the wedding, because for her it was just like somehow losing her temper. And in our tradition, I think probably both in India and Pakistan, it's the bride goes to the groom's house, like
Mm.
bidai or rukhsati we call it, that it's a farewell. So for my mom, it was this sense of losing her daughter to us, to this guy who was now going to be like everything for her daughter. And I was like, mom, like, think differently. I'm like, the guy's moving from Pakistan to here, like he's coming to my house. So so I was like, everything has changed. And even my husband Asar was just joking with my mom that like I'm here, like I'm at your house now. It's your daughter is not going anywhere.
Yeah,
So
it's a
my mom
modern
and dad,
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
they both love him now. They're like really good friends. They're like buddies now, and they you know unite against me in things whenever they need to. So
Wow.
Malala, when you mentioned about your college experiences, just to go back to that for a minute, and you were doing things that you maybe thought my parents might not approve. I'm sure you've done things that you're like, they may not approve. Did you have any like overwhelming feeling of shame or guilt? Because I hear that a lot from brown kids. They don't like non-Indian, non-Desi kids are okay with saying it's my life. I'm gonna do it. But I feel like brown kids have that weight of what their parents might want that they carry on their shoulders till they die.
It's
Did you
beyond
feel that
guilt
way?
also. Like brown kids will live for their parents. Like they will
Mm.
live to serve their parents and that is their life, I think to add.
Would you do you have any do you relate to that feeling?
100%. And I think for our brown parents, it's also everybody that they know in their community. So you don't feel
Mm.
like it's two parents speaking to you, but you feel like it's the whole community speaking to you. Even though I was thousands of miles away from my hometown in Pakistan, my mom would ask me to still represent my culture and my traditions. And that included like my dress code and how I was wearing like traditional clothes. So I remember when I was in college, like, I did not want to stand out. And if I wore shalwar kameez, the Pakistani traditional clothes, I knew that people would immediately recognize me, and you sort of stand out as the public figure. I wanted to be like students, and students just wear jeans and a hoodie, and like that's just the normal wear. So that's what I switched to. And then this photo came out on social media where I was wearing jeans and this bomber jacket, and this whole controversy started on Twitter, which said that Malala is wearing jeans, and it's like somehow she has, you know, I don't know. Is that people had a problem with me wearing jeans, and I said, okay, like if this is a controversy, like where do you draw the line? Um, so it's things can go crazy. But I remember my parents calling me saying that, oh, like, do you want to issue a statement or clarify, clarify what, like say what, yeah. So things can get hard. I just told my parents I'm here as a student, and this is what a student life looks like in college. So I would appreciate more support from you guys. It was hard to convince my mom, but my dad sort of agreed with me
Oh
in that.
my god. Your dad cannot be the hero of this story, Malala.
Wow.
I
Please,
know he's
no.
not. He's not.
Thank you. Thank you. Because your mom, I'm sure, was watching out for your safety and your best interest, as all moms do, looking straight to camera. I might remind people. And you, I know you've
The,
gone.
the
Go ahead.
the part that I have been reflecting on why my mom has been so strict, And my dad
Yes.
has been this like nice feminist, dad, and I always praise him. And I realized that, my mom had had a different experience growing up than my dad. So when my dad stood up for women's rights, he was celebrated as a hero and as an exception. For my mom, it was the other way around. She knew the cost that women face when they stand up for their rights. So she had seen
Wow.
how the girls who dared to get their education, the girls who dared to make decisions, uh, according to their own preferences, were punished. And so she had stories of like girls forced into marriages, girls killed in the name of honor. And for her it was just simple that, we cannot change the whole society yet. What we can do is we can follow the rules, and we can ensure that, we don't disobey any of these rules, so that we don't put ourselves into into any risk. So I understood it from my mom's perspective. She had like saved the lives of so many girls. But she knew, she's like, let's just like make sure we don't get into like trouble or cause these problems. So she comes from a different generation. I think in my time, I wanted us to be more rebellious and change things, like take a step forward.
I mean,
Wow.
it is an eternal conflict. The mom and dad, their goals, you have pointed it out so beautifully. And I'm sure you have your own heavy feelings about it. Have you ever leaned on therapy, like all these Western ideas of how to manage your mental stress? Because even managing that load, like celebrate your dad, but also understand your mom. Let your dad get his flowers because he too is doing something unique by standing up for his daughter. It's not every father who stands up for his daughter, but then also, understanding all the so do you believe in therapy? Is that something that I know you talk about it in your book? Is this something that has helped you? Because if you speak about it, millions of brown people will hear how you got over things, and that's why this book is so important, because you're talking about things that are bridging two cultures in a very real and everyday way.
I want to start by saying that I actually didn't believe in therapy. When I was recovering from the Taliban attack in a hospital in Birmingham in the UK, I was getting medical support, I was getting surgeons and doctors and nurses, and I also got a therapist. And the therapist was the last person I wanted to see. Seriously, they would ask me a question like, "How are you feeling today?" And I said, like seriously, how am I feeling today? I have this severe headache and I'm recovering through a surgery and I have another surgery to go through. Like, what do you mean, how am I feeling today? So I think my parents were of the same view. In Pakistan, we grew up hearing about therapy as something that is for people who have just gone crazy. And I was like, I haven't gone crazy. Like, I think I'm fine. And so, I was so grateful that I recovered physically. And then many years later, when I was in college, I had flashbacks from the attack.
Oh,
And
wow.
those flashbacks got triggered by this bong incident. So, in college, you are like trying everything.
Oh
Why
my
not? Like,
God, no,
oh my
Malala,
goodness.
no.
But there's a lesson, there's a lesson through the story. So let's just focus on the lesson. And um this was the first time that I felt that I was reliving the time when I was attacked and I was in an induced coma and I could not figure out if I was alive or dead, if this was afterlife. Like, my body froze, I couldn't move, I was shaking. And after that, it just, I could not bring things back to the normal. I think it was that moment when life takes a very sharp turn and you cannot go back. Something horrible has happened. And I tried to give myself time. I tried everything to figure out how I can fix it. And I realized it was getting worse and worse, more and more
Wow.
panic attacks.
Wow.
Then a few months later, a college friend of mine told me that I should see a therapist. And I said, no, like nobody would understand me. Like, what do they know? Because we all feel that our situation is so unique and we come from different cultures, or, like how can I explain myself to somebody who knows nothing? So I went for my first therapy session, and I'm so glad I did. Even though I was hoping that they would give me all the medication that I need and they'll fix the problems, it didn't happen that way. I realized that this is a process and it would take us some time to talk through everything. That was the first time that I opened up and I started getting therapy. This was 7 or 8 years after the attack. This is how long I had like delayed it for.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's a stigma also in our community, and we just don't understand it. I think we just don't understand what therapy does. But your story is so unbelievable. It's so inspiring, and the best part of this book that is coming out soon, Finding My Way, is that it is actually bridging two cultures. It is explaining to people where we come from as a people, brown people, and
Mhm.
specifically Pakistan in Malala's case, but also how we are now finding our way into the Western world, into Western philosophies, and whether it is as simple as wearing jeans or as deep as getting therapy, or all these things. You have become an agent of change on so many levels,
Yeah.
and we're so excited that your book is coming out. Everybody, pre-order it right now. Finding My Way. When is it dropping, Malala? What is pub date?
21st of October. And I mean, if Zarna is asking you guys, come on, like, what's your
21st of October. Do not make me hunt down each and every one of your accounts. I will come and check with my own two eyes. Guys, this is a book that is not to miss. It's a gift for your children. It's a gift for your parents. It's a gift for your relatives. Like, who need to hear who need to hear precisely what Malala just said. She waited 7-8 years just to go to therapy. We don't need to. In 2025, people, we don't need to wait all those years. Hear it from somebody who's going through it. Hear it from also, just putting in a plug for myself, also the world's best almost therapist here. Feel free to send me your questions, and Malala and I, we're going to be doing a session
No.
soon.
Oh, well, yes,
Yes.
that I'm very excited about. But again, I just want to reaffirm that she is the almost therapist, right?
Not
She
an
is
actual therapist.
not a therapist.
No, we are going to, everybody show your support and be inspired by this young woman. Look at the life she's led. This is a memoir. You people write memoirs who should not be writing memoirs. I can think of a few people who've not had a life worthy enough of writing a memoir.
Why are you flaming all these authors right now?
Because there are people who just write it because they get a book deal, and then you've got a woman who has changed millions. It is not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
People use words like icon and trailblazer like it's like nothing. Here you have somebody who's actually changed how women see themselves, how the world sees women, how women exist in different spaces. This is a not to miss book, Finding My Way by Malala, dropping on October 21st. Did you say
Yes.
October
I think we have
21st?
covered all the points. I think I should go.
No, no, no. We are done. We are going to remind people one more time. What do we want them to do, guys?
Pre-order.
Pre-order the book.
Wait, I just want to say
Order
one
the
last
book.
thing. One last thing.
Let's take a quick pause to tell you about our sponsor for today's episode, Monarch. Feel confident and organized in your finances with Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or on your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year with code ZARNA at monarch.com. Now, on this app, you can put everything, your 401k, your checking account, your savings account, any problems that you've been trying to resolve, any decisions that are outstanding that you need to make with your spouse or with your financial advisor. All your money related things come neatly on a beautiful, easy to use interface. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Take control of your financial life. Do not push this off to the next year. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code ZARNA at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code ZARNA.
From the perspective of a young kid growing up in public school in America, like, it is genuinely such a gift to be able to have this conversation with you, because literally before any of this fame grew, like, we were reading books about you in third grade about your story, and like I know girls who have dressed up as you for Halloween, and it's just absolutely a gift and an honor to be able
Halloween?
to.
Why
Yeah,
Halloween?
I don't know, but I know people.
She's a hero.
Like
No,
she is genuinely an icon.
You could
Like
have
it's
said
just such.
Women's Day or International Halloween.
no, but I think Malala, it's in the spirit of like I have dressed as Einstein because he's
Yeah,
my hero.
like yeah,
You know,
exactly.
On
there
Halloween.
are women all over who see some version of their struggle in you. They're never gonna match your struggle because you've lived a
And they
very
should.
normal
Why should?
life.
Yeah.
But like even you saying like I was nervous to go to my mom, but my dad understood. Even just that little dynamic is so universal to women all over the world. So Veer, when he found out that you were going to be joining our podcast, was so excited. He's like, "Mom, this is not real. It's like we read books about her. I have friends who are going to freak out when they find out that she is on our podcast. What you've done is beyond fame and beyond,
Oh, thank you. Veer,
it
how
really
old are
is.
you?
I'm 13.
Wow. 13. Oh, unbelievable. Okay, that was a long time ago when I was 13. Yes, but I think I believe in the voice of young people. They understand what it means to bring justice to community. They understand what is unfair, and I think young people should be engaged and involved in conversations. I also think that when decisions about the future of young people are made, especially for girls, they should be heard, their voices should be listened to, and they should be like included in that. I started my activism at a very young age. I was 11 when I first shared my life story with the international media, and that's when it all began for me. When I shared my story at the global stage through I Am Malala, which was my first book, I was a story of bravery and courage. That Malala faced this horrible Taliban attack. She survived, and she is stronger than ever. She's brave and courageous. And I received these titles when I was still in an induced coma in a hospital. I was 15 and I still was figuring out who I was, what subjects I loved, how am I going to make friends in a new country, what is ahead in life for me. At the same time, I was trying to meet the expectations of what does it mean for me to be an activist. And I think in the middle of all of that, I lost my childhood. When I joined university, that was the first time that I felt maybe I can do what I had missed. And this was the first time that my parents were not watching me because I was living on campus, and I was away from the work people, and I was managing my own schedule. So I was reliving my childhood, and it sounded like so silly when I was excited about small things like going to a late night friends party, or trying rowing, or going to Diwali ball, or just trying these new things with friends, staying up late, going through essay crisis. But it made me feel more like young people who were my age, and it helped me reconnect with myself. It helped me be with the most amazing people I have ever met, who are now my best friends for life. And I think they made a huge difference, because with them I did not feel that I had to think twice before I said anything. I
Wow.
think you know I think, as you would be very familiar with this, when you are in this public space, or when you have this public profile at a young age, you feel like people are watching you, and you have to be careful, and you cannot get it wrong, and you have to think twice before everything. But when you find the right people around you, especially that can happen at college time, they make you feel comfortable, that you make mistakes, they help you along the way, and you can have moments of joy, you can be very open to them, and they are your true best friends, and you don't feel like you're being judged, or It's just friendship. So I'm so grateful for the friendships.
No, and we are
Wow.
so grateful for your story. Everybody, go right now, pre-order your book, Finding My Way by Malala, because you heard her here. So many experiences that you're all going through in life, whether you're a parent or a child, you're gonna see so many points of unity there, that you're gonna see yourself in her story and be inspired. Get it for a friend, get it for your
Get it
parents,
for your eldest daughter. I mean,
get
I
it for
just
your
feel,
eldest daughter.
yeah,
Yes,
no, I
eldest
feel
daughter
like,
of immigrant families, please
yeah.
get this book, everybody. Thank you so much, Malala. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for agreeing that there should be no boundaries with moms, as we've agreed.
And thank you for advocating for therapy, because I am constantly flamed in this podcast for being an advocate for therapy. I also was very skeptical of the whole experience before I started, and I cannot wait to read what you wrote so that I can underline it, send it in our family WhatsApp, and be like, see what Malala Devi said. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. Thank you.
But this is so great. Everybody say a big giant. Let's give a big applause to Malala. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. I want a big TikTok. Malala, thank you.
Thank you.
Finding my
And I have read. I actually listened to your book,
Oh
this
yeah.
American,
Oh,
yeah, this American woman. And I loved it. Exactly, the two best books together.
Yeah.
Yes,
thank you.
your story is so inspiring.
Thank
Um,
you. Malala, you're so
you talked
sweet.
about your journey and your resilience. It's such a moving story, and I was, I listened to everybody's perspective in the books. It was so nice that everybody from the family contributed. It's Also, I'm a big fan of your comedy shows and your content, and this pod that you are doing right now. It's amazing, so keep doing this. It's truly an honor to be with you guys, and I hope I can come to one of your comedy shows
We are
soon.
gonna get you in, and we're gonna have the best time. Everybody, but before anybody is going anywhere, listen up,
Yes.
listeners, viewers, audience. Pre-order this book right now. Tag me in your receipts. Upload the receipts. Tag Malala and me. And if you're lucky, I might send you a sweatshirt that is not available anywhere else. I'm not kidding, people. Upload those receipts. Come on, let's get it going. Finding My Way by Malala. Everybody, thank you so much, Malala. Big hug.
Thank
Big
you.
hug. So
Thank
much
you so
love.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye bye.
Malala.
You know what is a great tool though? I think ChatGPT therapy is really underrated.
Tell us about it. What are you
Tell us
using?
about
How
it,
are you
dude.
using it?
Well, just generally in life, whenever I'm like doing anything, I just literally just like write a paragraph telling ChatGPT the whole situation. It'll just give me like a fully logical and practical response on what
But
to
like
do.
it's the same response. I feel like when I try to use ChatGPT, the response is always just too touchy feely, with
No, and
no
also,
real.
You
guys,
can-
just for clarity, please do not use ChatGPT as a therapist on real things, because it's just spitting out nonsense to make you feel better. There are easier ways to do therapy today. There are online therapists. There are easier ways. I mean, I don't even know if anybody should be doing therapy, but if you must, there are trained people that you could be dealing with.
The problem, the
Or
only
use my consulting. I'm telling you that people are
Dad,
finding it extremely useful to use the consulting hour. And I've done it with all age groups. It's not therapy. Obviously, I'm not a qualified therapist, but I've done it for age groups ranging from early 20s to early 50s, and both sexes and all walks of life. And I'm just really surprised at how useful people are finding it. I'm just
No,
throwing it out there.
I'm not
It's not a
surprised that
plugin.
people find it so useful.
I'm not doing. I mean, it's just the most simplest of things. People find it very
No,
sort of
you should plug it
enriching.
in. Why am I the only one always plugging things in? You should plug it in, and it's okay.
Okay, so then I am plugging it in.
Tell
It's a
tell
consulting.
tell people what At Finance Dad podcast does for consulting.
It's an hour-long session where I talk to people about what they either their jobs, their person, not as much as their personal. Most of it is professional. So, it has segued into something personal along the way. But someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, someone who and is unable to do so, and there I can, I can draw upon the experience from my wife's career, and talk about it. But there was a girl who has a role model in form of Zoya, and she wanted to learn about how she could incorporate some parts of her life. There's a person who's a hedge fund manager unable to raise assets. I actually gave that person contacts, and and so on, where I was able to help them. So all walks of life and all kinds of careers, and each one of them has found, to my surprise, but not to my wife's surprise because she put me up to it, really, really useful, and has been repeat clients one after the
Wait.
other.
Okay, Dad, first of all, I'm so unsurprised that people find your hour of time very useful because you have such a wealth of experience in like 100 different ways and also very specifically in finance, hashtag pun. Now, Veer, I want to go back to your ChatGPT therapy thing because
Hmm.
more and more people are using ChatGPT for therapy, and I actually don't necessarily disagree with it at a high level. But one thing that I fear with it is that it's extremely affirmative, right?
Yeah.
Like the machine is extremely affirmative. Now, the problem here is that that then polarizes everyone to believe that whatever their point of view is actually good. Now, the way to mitigate that is to actually question the model and be like,
Hmm.
where am I wrong? Where do I not understand? Now, because Veer, you are extremely emotionally intelligent, which the pod talks about all the time. I'm not worried about you using ChatGPT for therapy. I use it for all sorts of emotional circumstances, but only because I know you have to do that back and forth where it's like, where could I possibly be wrong? What am I missing here? If you don't do that, then I actually am worried that it's just spewing out information that people are just digesting and then not really considering other people's points of view. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Veer, my question to you is, if you have something that's on your mind, why don't you talk about it with your dad or me?
I feel like ChatGPT is just like not. It's like you're throwing something out there and it's never gonna like repel. It's not like completely. I'm just being completely honest right now. Like I feel like if I would say something to you or dad, I would talk to you guys about it, and eventually it would resurface. And I just want it to never like. It's so customizable with ChatGPT that it just feels more like comforting to do it with chat
Oh,
rather
so
than
yeah, so
people.
he feels judged. You judge him, right, Zarna? You
What are you
judge him all
talking?
the time. Whatever he wants to
I'm
talk to you
actually,
about,
I'm
you
actually,
judge him, and he's feeling judged. And ChatGPT does not judge him, nor do I. So he's more comfortable talking to ChatGPT and to me.
I actually am gonna jump to mom's defense here, and I will say that mom, in a one-on-one conversational situation, especially when you're struggling with something, whether it be social life, academics, or whatever it is, she actually does very, very much listen to you and offer like real concrete, extremely helpful advice on how to like go forward with it. And she doesn't bring it up again. Like there's been many moments I can look back though in my high school where I've had like bad moments or I was just like not doing as well as I could have been doing, and I've had a conversation with mom, and she's never brought it up again, like ever. Like that was the one time we had that conversation,
Can
and
you
kids
tell
were.
us what she
Wait,
said
I'm
and
talking.
how
Hold
it
on, hold on,
helped?
hold on. I'm talking about like more surface level things. If it was anything serious that like fully affected my life, I would go to mom,
What do
obviously.
you mean
But
by service level?
like if it's just the way I'm feeling on a day to day, or like I got into something with somebody at school, then I'd go to chat because it's like I also don't want to be wasting mom's time when she has very important things to do. But
Oh,
like I'm talking more like less life changing things.
but it doesn't have to. I'm even talking about the surface level things. Like I think that especially when you get into something with somebody, like a one-on-one type situation, that could be extremely like when you get into something with somebody, there's a conflict. One thing that we're taught as RAs actually very specifically is that that lasts for a while. You don't just like have that in one day and just forget about it the next day. It's very rare for that to happen outside of your family. And I think that especially like I just mom is very good at not being judgmental. I will say, like she honestly, like as much as we joke about it, I think seriously she is really not
But
judgmental.
what does she say? Like I want to know like like
Yeah,
how does she make you feel that way in your conversations with her?
because I mean I've definitely had moments throughout high school, even middle school, and where forgetting all the times I got in trouble, where I was just like not happy with who I was. I knew I could be working harder. I knew that my work ethic wasn't as great as it could be. I knew I wanted all these things, but wasn't like my actions weren't adding up to what my expectations were. And I remember one time I went on a walk with mom, and it was a very emotional walk for me. I think I was actually in tears that walk. It was just like a very sad like day for me. And she really just listened to me for like 50 minutes to an hour straight on that walk. We walked through the park. She really, really did just listen to me. And she did give me her advice on what she thinks I could do or different things, different avenues to walk down. that would help me out. And I did listen to that advice. And a lot of, specifically because I know you want specifics, she actually did explain to me in a very Indian style fashion of like, if you really do just focus on your work, a lot of this other stuff that you're upset about, it just won't be as upsetting as it normally would be. If you just make your plan of doing one thing every day for 5 minutes, just one thing, it'll start adding up and you'll start seeing so many differences. And so I started doing that. And then when I did that more and more, I actually was able to get in positions with social media consulting for some of the higher profile people in New York City. And it really just led to tangible benefits that completely made me forget about that experience. But obviously not the fact that she helped me, but forget that I was ever in that mental state.
Oh, Mom, that's so
You
sweet.
feel
I
free
have
to
never
know-
had.
No, but
I have never had that experience with your mother.
What? How can you say that?
literally, do you see this? Do you see the gaslighting that's going? First of all, I
Who
just wanna
taught her
pause
about
for a second,
gaslighting?
because
Maybe
what-
she's better at talking with little kids, and
Oh,
with adults,
okay.
it's harder for her to do that,
What-
you know?
Okay, hold
Because
on.
you're describing a middle school, so you must be like 14, 15 years old.
No, this was
And
in
now
high
that you're
school.
19,
This
she
was
cannot
like
ta-
a year or two ago. No, hold on. Shut up. Just hold on for a second. I want to just go to one thing that both boys talked about. One of the things I realize is a hack that our family uses when we want to talk about something is we go for a walk. It is very scary to sit and be like, can I talk to you right now across the table? And it's like, it doesn't have to be that serious, even if the topic is serious or not. I find, and I'm going to get into it, of like 20 plus years of walking with your dad. But uh, when you go for a walk and you're both looking other places and just casually letting the topic breathe, and taking the time to allow the body to move as you're breathing through it, I think it actually is such a powerful tool that is vastly underrated. People think talking has to be the serious thing that you sit across a table and you make this grand announcement that now we're going to have a talk. And I really have never believed that. I don't believe that now. I think if you or your family are listening, if you or your spouse are listening and you're feeling a certain kind of way, just go for a walk. Sometimes, and people won't believe me, but my kids and my husband are in this room, they will attest to it. Sometimes we don't even go for a real walk. We just walk around the building. We're just walking around the perimeter of the building for an hour to let the topic breathe and to let the feelings surface to the top. And now, coming to the topic of your dad saying this is never 20 plus years, Shalab, we have walked almost every day. You're telling me those walks were not useful to you, that I wasn't listening to you?
I mean, now you're making it romantic, so I'm not really sure
It's
how to
not
respond.
romantic at all. There's nothing romantic about it. We've talked about our mortgage.
I mean, you're
we've
making
talked
it like
about
20
college
years. You're
admissions.
talking about every day. You're talking.
No, but we're talking about everyday life things, and you're telling me that I don't hear anything.
No,
The
that's not
last
true.
5 years
didn't
have
say that.
been me trying to convince you to do finance, Dad, because you would be so good at it. You think there's something in it for me? Do you know how much energy it takes to like listen to somebody and come up with a plan for their whole life?
You're right. I
to,
accept
to
that.
monitor all the, this is not your strength, this is not your weakness, you could do it this way, you could do it that way. Like, you think that that's all like me just standing around and thinking, well, I have nothing else to do, so let me do this.
I'm going to take a brief pause because this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, and I want to tell you all about them. They are a one-stop destination for creating an incredible website. They will give you your domain name. They have all the analytics to help you bring traffic to your website. They have the tools to help you schedule accounts, help you invoice people. You can run your entire business off of a Squarespace account. If you've been dreaming of starting a business, if you've been thinking one day I'm gonna do this online, Squarespace is the place you want to go to start that journey because they make it so easy. I say don't miss a beat. Check them out right now. You have nothing to lose. Squarespace has all the tools, so intuitive and easy to use. Check out squarespace.com/Zarna for a free trial. They'll give you a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code Zarna to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/Zarna for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use offer code Zarna to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I would not waste any time. Don't hold back on your dreams. They are within your reach, and Squarespace makes it so easy. If you're looking for something interesting and fun and informative and educational to do with your kid, Mathnasium is the activity. This is where your kid is going to learn to love math, to enjoy it, to do it with friends, to go at their own pace. Don't wait for the next school year to get ahead. If your kid is curious, indulge in that curiosity now and keep pushing them along at their own pace where you can get personalized instruction. There's a million parents out there trusting their kids with Mathnasium. You know why? Because it works and it makes math fun. No matter what your kid does in life, they're gonna need math skills. So do not wait. Do not wait for the upcoming school year. Go now to Mathnasium, and listeners today can get a free assessment at Mathnasium to start the school year off strong. Go to mathnasium.com and find a center near you to redeem your free assessment. That's mathnasium.com.
Well,
Mom, I
think
have a
that-
question.
Yeah, I think we have the same question, Bridge.
No, I definitely don't have the same question as you, but you
No,
can go first.
I think no. Go. I'm
Okay,
curious.
Mom,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, what do you think that you're most proud of in your life? Like, most proud accomplishment or most proud thing you've done in your life?
I mean, without a doubt, this family that I've created, this family that your dad and I have created, that if you want to talk specifics and who was responsible for what, until 4 years ago was 100% my responsibility.
Wait, then I want to ask Dad, what is your most proud accomplishment in life?
I think my most proud accomplishment has been, at some level, my career. I've really enjoyed that for myself, particularly the highs of it. There were some really, really picturesque moments in my career that I just cannot ever let go of. And equally aligned with it, I would say that the impact that had, especially as you guys were young and growing up, and the benefits that I brought. It's not easy to establish yourself as immigrants with no real family and no real support in New York, and to be able to do that bottoms up like a typical, young American family, I think would be the most proud thing.
Who do you guys
And then
go
this, I would say,
to?
second to that, more recent years, I think it's the most proud moment has been my support to your mom as well.
Who do you guys go to when you need to talk about something hard?
We just
Because
had each other. We didn't have anyone else.
that's it. So you
That's
guys
it.
don't feel
So I
like
never talked to my, my parents being a middle class Indian parents wasn't, they couldn't understand the life here, right? So really, when I look at you guys in your early 20s, I sometimes feel, to be honest, a little jealous because you have your mother or me or avenues to be able to talk. But for your mother and I, it was just she and each other to be able to
so
talk.
you guys don't have any secrets between you two.
No, we don't
No,
have
we
any
have a lot
secrets.
of secrets.
I mean, we have secrets like a typical adult person would have, but we don't have I don't think we have secrets.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that. But it is true that we don't really have, like, we didn't. That's when sometimes when we go for walks and I tell you guys that you can take our advice or not, but the fact that you have it is a resource. You have a human chat GPT as your parents.
A human chat.
You've got 50 years of life experience that we have no incentive to lead you down the wrong path. There's nothing in it for us. There's no incentive in us we only want to see you happy. We only want to see you succeed. Our incentives could not be more aligned. The happier you are, the more successful you are, the happier we are, and the more successful we are.
But that is generic for every parent, though, right?
No,
What
it's
is
not,
different?
Shalabh.
Why is it not?
There are any number, like, I think in India, the goals of children and parents sometimes are misaligned. Because the more independent the child is, the more nervous the parent feels that child is going to leave them and not take care of them or not be part of the family business or all of that. We don't live like that here. We have no expectation of that as we get older anyway. We want them to be successful, we want them to be independent, and we want them to be on their own 2 feet.
I
Like
think that is
family
generic to a
businesses, because
parent.
I grew up in a family business, that is the number one thing. Most rich and successful family business heads will sabotage their own kids so that their wings are clipped and they stay dependent for the rest of their life.
Maybe that's true for family-owned business families, but not every family. Like a lot of them are professional families, and I think most parents just want the best for their kids, right? Or is that too generic a statement?
I think that's a generic statement. I think even we could have intentions. Everybody has their own agenda and intentions, and we do too, I'm sure. But I'm saying incentives are more aligned here than I've seen before. Like, there is just in America no real expectation that your kid's spouse, for example, is going to take care of you. It's just that it's not a thing that exists here. You know what I mean? So therefore, when you give marriage and dating advice, your marriage and dating advice is based on different factors. But in India, that's a real thing, or at least it used to be. It must have changed by now, but it used to be a very big factor.
One thing I want to talk about in this podcast that we haven't touched on is a lot of siblings come to us saying, how are you guys close? How do you guys talk to each other? Especially like girl boy relationships within the family. Guys, what would you say? Like, do you feel like the three of us have secrets from mom and dad?
Why is it happening?
Why is Bridge laughing?
Wait, Veer's answering.
Well, me and Baya definitely hold some secrets generally, and I'm sure he has many secrets that he holds to himself that he doesn't tell. I probably have a few secrets. Like, we have some secrets between all of us, and then we have some secrets ourselves.
What are you talking about? What secrets?
Just, general life
About
secrets.
what? Like, okay, don't tell the secret, but what is it about? Like, what? Is it about girls?
Like anything. It could be girls, it could be like skipping I don't know, like not missing a homework or something. I don't know. Like, it could be anything. That's like a very low level example.
So yeah, I don't think you have any secrets with your mom, right? She knows everything about you.
Oh, why did you pause?
I just feel like, I don't know, because I do tell mom a lot. She knows a lot. She knows a lot of things that I think a lot of girls would be too scared to tell their mom too. Like, I've told mom a lot about like my dating history, about things that went wrong in school that, I'm not proud of. And so she does know a lot. Now, actually similar to, I took after Bridge and Veer's example because in high school, they were much better about handling their issues instead of just running to mom. So recently, I've been really good about like handling my own situations and not contacting mom as much. So she doesn't know everything, I feel like, in my adult life.
What do you mean? I know everything. I know what are you talking about. I have your location. I know where you're coming, you're going, who you're meeting. What is going on?
Because it's really important to have your own compass on things. Like, if you don't have your own compass on how you're feeling and how you're experiencing emotions, then you like are not independent, right? So I actually was not independent emotionally from you, mom, until like college or maybe in the last year.
Bridge, do you feel that way?
I mean,
I'm a little. Yeah, sorry, go.
I think you are living a very independent life, right, Bridge? In college?
Yeah, I'm living a very independent life. I think that I don't know, it's very complicated because the things that everybody wants to do, the things that I think when you're in college, it's hard not to live an independent life because you're so busy. Like, you're just consistently doing things, so it's impossible to not like I don't know how. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
But Bridge, for example, you recently became single, right? It's after a very long time that you're single. How come you
Yeah,
didn't share anything about that with anyone?
I did. I told
No,
you.
you
I told
just you,
you.
you
I told
just
mom.
made a factual statement, but you didn't share about how it may have felt, how hard it may have been on you to be out of a relationship that was so long, and what does it mean for you going forward. You didn't share any feelings around it.
I don't know. I just don't think that I'm somebody who talks a lot. I'm not like a very emotional speaker. I don't really talk about my emotions that much. I'm
But
much
did you
more
share all of
invested.
that with your sister and your brother, and just not with your parents?
No. I mean, I share the same details to everybody. I would like to say more recently, especially, I'm much more of an open book. I'm not really going to keep things from mom or dad that I wouldn't keep from Didi or Veer and vice versa anymore. In high school, I definitely was, but now it's more, I'm not really doing anything that's so special. I'm just doing things.
Why did you decide to be an open book now?
I'm just not doing anything that's worth keeping a secret, and I'm not making like immature decisions I made in high school that I know I would have gotten reprimanded for if told to mom or dad.
Okay, can we just talk about the opposite dynamic for a minute? How much should you and I talk about things with the kids? I get a lot of heat from my friends for telling the kids about our finances and our financial
Yeah,
pressures,
I
and
really think it's a fantastic idea that you do. I think we should be absolutely transparent and
but you know
open.
what I'm talking about, right? I've
Yeah,
had a lot of parents,
especially adult kids.
especially non-Indian parents who are like, why would you put this pressure on your kids? Why would you tell them? You should always tell the kids that everything is fine. They can afford anything they want. It's a matter of, is it a priority? This is something that a lot of New York City parents have told
Is
me.
it? Is that really a thing? I feel like that's not a thing. I'm gonna
No,
be
that's
honest
a
with
real
you.
thing. I'm not
I feel
making
like
it
I
up.
see the opposite way more often than I see that.
What
What do you mean?
opposite conditioning
The
are you talking
opposite
about?
of the opposite conditioning is even if you can afford it, it's not worth it. You shouldn't do it because you're not gonna. You might lose it. There might be a rainy day. I hear that way more than I
I think
hear
that's
what
a
you're
public school
describing.
thing, to be
No,
honest.
I'm in a private school right now. I go to Cornell. It is a private university, and I would say majority of the people here, regardless of their, even the people who are more wealthy, most of their parents kind of tell them that they can't get anything.
No, but that's different. That's different. What you're saying is that parents will reprimand their kids if they spend like too much money, or like they'll do like allowances to make sure that their kids grow up knowing how to manage money. That is different than what mom is saying. What mom is saying is that she's been extremely transparent. Her and dad have been extremely transparent about our family's finances, about like what condition our
Yeah,
family is in terms of, are we making money? Are we not making money? What can we afford and what we can't afford? It's very different. So I actually agree. I think what has happened is a lot of parents don't want to bring their kids in because they don't want to trouble them with the responsibility. But the
yeah,
thing that parents don't realize is if you give kids responsibility, they rise to that expectation. Right? Like, and I think that's something that you guys entrusted us with when we were really young. One thing that I do wonder though is like, Veer, you learned about this information. I learned about our family's finances when I was 16, which is like a reasonable age to be learning about these things. Veer, you, on the other hand, learned about things when you were like 9. And I wonder, like,
Yeah,
how.
I think that's a little young. Like, I think that it was more as an extension, and I don't even know if we could process things correctly
And
at that
also,
age.
like, there's no perfect thing in life. Like, nothing in life is perfect. You can't wait. Life happens. You gotta roll with what's happening around you, how it's happening around you. And I'm not saying Veer was young, but like, you are 9 years older than him. Bridge is 6 years older than Veer. Like, at that rate, there will never be a right time to do anything. Veer
Yeah,
also had the advantage of having two older siblings cushion the blow. Those are the advantages that he had. In life things just happen, and I say this as somebody who's had a lot of turns and twists in my life, but I've never sat there and thought, well, I wish this hadn't happened at 14. Like, life, i- the thing is that whatever you prepare for is not gonna happen. What's
yeah.
gonna
Wait, but
happen is
I,
the
I
thing
am
that you're
not.
not prepared for at all.
I don't think it was imperfect at all. I am grateful for the way that it happened, fully. That was
Like, do
more of
you
her
feel, do
question.
you ever feel regret that we put too much pressure on you, or we made you nervous about the future? Because we've had some serious financial setbacks in the last few years that we're dealing with and we're coming out of as a family. But do you ever feel like, I wish I didn't know any of this?
No, no, I definitely do not. No,
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
answer is
so I
no.
actually agree with Zarna on this, that we should be sharing, and all parents, to the extent possible, should
But,
entrust
and
their
Shalab,
children.
just to be clear with the people, tell them that that is a journey that you have reached now. Because there was a time when you were like, why are you telling the kids all this? Why are you,
I
remember?
I don't remember that.
But you don't remember when we were moving Zoya to Bronx Science? You were like, why are we getting her into? I was like,
But
shut
but
up.
hold on. You just like, this is like something you do, right? You just take an example of a circumstance which has nothing to do with the topic under discussion and try to make it about the topic under discussion. That discussion at that time was about moving our only daughter from a country club like private school into a school that felt very aggressive when I first visited it, not about family finances. And ultimately, it turned out to be a great decision that you made. But I don't think the questions that I was asking or posing at the time were inappropriate questions that I was posing at the time based on what I saw. How was that about entrusting those decisions that you made? Every one of them turned out to be a fantastic one. So I'm not sort of questioning any of that. But I don't know how that's related to
I'm
transparency around
saying there was
finances.
a time when you believed that we should not be telling our kids all the details.
No, I don't remember that discussion at all. You
Okay.
just like injected
For
it.
what is. I mean, Bridge, you're laughing. What do you think happened?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't part of those discussions. I just think this is a funny like argument.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
I also don't think it's necessarily relevant. I think like the relevant thing was that you guys decided to be honest with us.
We did, and I want to say one thing. Just like you get questions about how are your siblings close, I get questions as from moms and dads. How do you keep your family close? And I will tell you that my response to it, and if for everybody who's listening, please listen up because this will help every one of you, is that whatever adversity you're going through, make it a family challenge because
Yeah,
that
Mm.
adversity brought us closer together.
I
we
so
we
agree.
we banded together to get through it together. And the solutions to life's problems are not outside, they're not expensive. The solutions to all of big life's problems are actually internal and cheap and even free. Like the adversity that life threw at us, we decided to become a collective force and become the Garg family that fought through it together, and I recommend it to everybody.
I
And
so
so many
agree.
times there will be parents who will be like, but how do I get my daughter and my son? Like, sit them down and say, as a family, we need to conquer this. And how are we going to do it? And now I'm going to give somebody credit that God knows I don't like giving credit to. But Shalab's mom, when I was newly married, had once said, every couple needs a villain.
I
That
think she was trying to
What?
say that
yes,
she was happy to be that villain.
and that when you don't have a real villain, make me the villain. This is something that she had said to me.
Did she
And
actually say that to you? Did
yes,
she say it in Hindi?
yes.
Can you say it in Hindi
कि
just for the
हर
vibe?
हर कपल को एक एक चीज चाहिए हेट करने के लिए, और जब जब कोई ना मिले मुझे कर लेना. That when you don't have anybody, you hate me, it's fine.
See, your mom. Wow, your
Wow.
mom
I
can
just
speak
got
Hindi. I didn't know
goosebumps. I
that.
literally just got
I didn't know
goosebumps.
she could speak Hindi. Wow.
Oh, okay, Shalab, you didn't know I
Dad,
could speak
like, of
Hindi.
course mom
You
speaks
know, no,
Hindi.
Because she grew up Gujarati, She's
yeah,
not like
he
from the
has a
UP
chip on
side.
his shoulder about so many things we're not going to get into right now. But it is true. I really hope that families that are listening, moms and dads or children, take this opportunity. We have a holiday season coming up. Make it about what gift you want for your family and how you can do this together. Because I really believe that had we not gone through those COVID years, had we not gone through the ups and downs of your dad's career, my career, five of us would not be as tight as we are today.
But also,
Even us showing up on this podcast is a commitment to a goal that we made together as a
wait,
family.
I just want to add though that like it's not all like roses though. Like I think Bridge usually does this and I'm gonna do it this time. Like I think one thing that is really weird is like if you make your family your closest confidants and you trust that their advice and that their intention is good with you, other people will criticize that, right? Like people will not understand, like they will not, right? Like to this day people continue. I like even people that like I've been dating or like whatever, like because they don't have close relationships with their family, they're like, what is going on in this situation, because it is unusual, right? Like I think something I think about a lot in recent years is the norm is the norm for a reason, and to do excellent things you have to like be an outlier, right? Like you have to create outlier situations in which you are unique. This situation is incredibly unique. And so, it's normal that people will misunderstand it. And if, for example, you decide to like tell the world or like be super close with your brother and be like, my brother and I are like, we're doing it together. Like, don't expect people to give you flowers for that. We will, because like we're so about that, but like, don't expect that because they won't.
But this is, yeah, of course, you people don't know. People are threatened by what they don't understand or what they don't know. But that's true for us too. I'm sure we look at things and think that's weird. But this is an endless, unending conversation. This is a topic that goes on. What are the boundaries? What do you share? What do you not share? We want to hear from you, our audience. What are the boundaries you guys are struggling with? What are you talking to your parents about? What are the parents talking to their kids? Are there boundaries between husbands and wives? Are there secrets? As I said, I just pled the fifth during this episode. We're not going to get into it. But as we end every episode with a round of good grades with Gargs, so too we're going to end this episode with a round of good grades with Gargs, where each Garg gives another Garg an A grade for the winning moment, for the educational moment, for the enlightening moment of the episode. So who wants to go first?
I'm giving my A grade to Dad. I felt like
Wow.
no, I felt like you were so articulate today about the moment where you felt like you weren't heard and how you're from the Godfather generation. Like, first of all, it was funny, and second of all, I think it's so fascinating to me to hear about how you think about emotions and like how you process things, and I was impressed by that entire monologue.
I like that. I'm going to give my A grade to Bridge. I think that the description he gave of his taking that 25-minute walk to get to a point where he can carry, and it is a lot of equipment because, you know, our producer has given us a Yeti mic and there's a lot of heavy stuff that one has to carry in a whole bag. That makes, I'm glad that she's done that because that makes our podcast crisp in the way it is and so presentable. But it also means that he must have carried all of that on his shoulders, and in the way he described it, it was pretty incredible. I liked it.
I'm actually also gonna give my A grade to Dad because I think that it was really, really. I think that two reasons. Reason one, you understand my perspective. I think as a young man, a lot better than most people probably can. And I think that many times you, especially throughout this podcast, but generally in the podcast, you kind of articulate how I'm feeling a lot better than I think I can. And then reason number two is because you used an argument that completely flipped what Mom was saying, completely contradicted herself in that one moment, and that just made me laugh really hard.
I'm gonna give my A grade to Dad as
Oh my
well
God!
because
Wow, everybody is Dad today.
I
Sweep.
mine's more of a simple moment. I just thought that the flip between saying that I've never felt heard to like I've never wanted to felt heard was just a really funny like moment.
Okay, all right. So today is Don't Anybody Appreciate Mom Day. That's fine. Um, I understand how it is. But I will give my grade to Bridge also because I felt very sad when he described how he had to get to the podcast. For all our listeners and viewers, you should know that our commitment to this podcast is very deep and very real. It is not easy as a family of five. I mean, honestly, it is a back-breaking amount of work, and I'm gonna start crying right now because, last week, I mean, just yesterday, I flew in from the Middle East through the exams, through the holiday. Every holiday weekend, we are recording. Every holiday weekend. Five of us are recording. Our producer is working night and day. Sometimes Sunday night at midnight, 2 in the morning, we are editing episodes. We are frantically trying to get clips made so that we meet our Monday morning deadline. And for my son to say that I couldn't even get a bite in, and I believe it, I know how it is. It's like everything is separated. Where you eat is a different building, where you sleep is a different building, where you show up to podcast is the third building. It is such a monumental amount of work. And when I heard him describe it, it hit me that I really sometimes take a lot for granted. And I'm grateful to the kids. I'm grateful to, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm grateful to your dad and for something. I'm not sure what. And I'm grateful to the viewers and listeners for being part of this community. But the A grade today definitely goes to Bridge and maybe a tie between Bridge and Shalab, because if you're not feeling heard, that is an issue, and we should be doing a topic on that, because the men also need to be heard. It is not okay that the men of any family, and for sure not brown families, are not being heard. It is not okay. So we're gonna do a follow-up episode, and as we end every episode with these good grades, we want to know what you think, what you agree with. Please like, share, and subscribe this episode to all your friends and family. Let's grow this family together, and until we meet again, everybody say bye.
Bye.